Doesn't look like an offense that's going to be enough to win the Super Bowl right now.
Okay.
I saw that yesterday. That is the most awkward, stupid thing I've heard a reporter do ever. Like he's making clarifications now.
File away. Remember, I think last year there was a moment where the reporters asked some pointed questions of the two safeties, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, and they got pissed. So it's why you like to get that raw emotion. You like to get it fresh. You like to get them in there, and it's
I love how he
reporters
did. Okay,
to not ask questions that piss people off. Okay, yeah, okay, fine, thank you. All right, goats in a bad way. Chris, you're up.
I'm going to start with Tua on Sunday Night Football. That's going to take the cake for me. I mean, one, and I know it's not all on Tua, but it's 2 weeks in a row of below average play. As we talked about, the 49ers game, the final stats look okay, but, the part of evaluating the quarterback is what was there to be had, and there was at least 200 yards extra to be had. He could have broke the all-time record that day in passing yards. But last week, hey, defensive game plan was good. Brandon Staley, some of the stuff he did, but still couldn't be more off. I mean, again, even though I know there wasn't great separation, what we're used to with the Miami Dolphins receivers, some of the decisions and then throws that didn't even give the receivers a chance. I mean, he threw for 35% against a defense that's in the bottom half of football, and he has the greatest weapons in the game. I don't care what you say. And then the other thing added to it is, the crazy thing with Tua, and I think this also speaks to why I still question it, the more time he has to throw, the worse he is. Why is that? Why? Because when McDaniel doesn't open up the RPO, whoa, he's wide open, boom, right here. Now it comes to Tua's got to be in the pocket and make throws and good decisions. And he ain't that good at that. So that to me was the guy that was being talking about the MVP has fallen apart the last 2 weeks, and he's going in a bad way for my first pick.
Yeah, look, when you do the RPO and that first read is wide open, you don't have to sit there and say, is this guy open? Is this guy open? Is this guy open? Who do I throw to? Do I have enough time? All of the things that you have to master if you're going to be a high-end quarterback that isn't just a guy who's running a great system that is suited to your skills. All right, Ed Donatel, Vikings defensive coordinator. They have had 5 straight games now of allowing 400 or more yards to the opposing offense. That is a franchise record. Congratulations. They are the first 10-3 team in NFL history to have allowed more points than they have scored. The worst 10-3 team, sort of, in the history of the entire National Football League. Now, 10-3 is not bad.
You're amazing.
What are you ever going to win? What are you going to do? Seriously, with that defense, what are you going to do? You rely upon maybe somebody makes a play with the game on the line. Bend but don't break. Bend but don't break. Well, they broke on Sunday, and they broke against the Cowboys, and they broke against the Eagles, and they're going to break at some point in the playoffs. When you play a great team, that you can get by beating crap teams that way. You're not going to get by beating great teams. Great teams are going to kill you because you cannot stop them. You can't stop them. Yeah. So unless you're going to match them score for score, you have no chance.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Let me carry the one. Let me see. Oh, that's right. No, you're not. But every segment, I think you've accomplished to bring up the Vikings in a negative way throughout the show.
No, I haven't.
No, you left one segment out? Okay, fine. No. You made them one segment. Okay.
We didn't talk about them in the opening segment.
All right. Yeah, you're right. You avoided them in the opening segment. Okay. My next one is I got to go to the Raiders defense. And specifically, listen, just the coaching and the management of the situation by Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator there, who I have great respect for. I've said a lot of positive things. But here's just a thought, and this, to me, was one of the craziest things of the weekend. A guy doesn't know the offense. He's been there for 30 hours. He doesn't know the reads, the plays, or anything. So then you're going to play a defense where, wait, we're going to blitz and he doesn't have to read or know the play and he's just going to play a one-on-one? Let me throw a fade. Let me throw a go route. I mean, that's the opposite of what you should do. I just was amazed by that situation, and I just had to shed some spotlight on it. Should have been rush 3. They couldn't block Max Crosby if they just rushed 1, it didn't seem like. Rush 3, drop 8, make him read the play and do it execute an offense that he doesn't know how to execute. So that was crazy to me, Mike. Sorry.
All right. We got to take a break. I can't even make my pick.
You talk too much about the Vikings.
I'll make my pick. We got to jam in three. Yeah, it's my fault. 3 picks when PFT Live.
Come on, be better, Mike. Come on. You're like the Vikings.
All right, we're running out of time. We got 3 more picks to do. Real quickly, Mitch Trubisky, off the bench, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions equals goat horns. 3 interceptions, 2 goat horns. Mitch Trubisky, you're up, Chris.
Yeah, good one. All right, I'm going to go with just the Bucs defense, just the defensive line itself, the way they got obliterated in the run game versus the 49ers. You know they were going to rely on that with Brock Purdy. That was disappointing.
Same game for me. And this is kind of GOAT carryover from last Monday night. Donovan Smith. You know why? Because they busted him on a play that would have tied the game, the long touchdown pass from Brady to Evans. Donovan Smith got popped for holding. Why, Chris? Because they'd been telling those officials all week long.
No doubt about
Watch
it.
76, because the holding wasn't nearly as
bad as the ones we
stuff he
saw.
was doing against the Saints on Monday night.
Right.
But they got him, and it took a touchdown off the board. It would have been 7-7, and who knows where it goes from there. We go out the door. Thanks for some of your time. Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.